we shared some horrible bossery examples. This is a term that I have for leaders that are just so abysmally poor that we call it horrible bossery. And so we shared a tweet, and the original one was that went nuts. It went viral, and it was a surgical trauma nurse who went on Twitter and shared this tweet. She said, "Guess whose request off work got denied for their own wedding? PTO, baby, prepare the others. I ain't gonna be there." So this surgical trauma nurse is getting married, and she files her paperwork for paid time off, and her boss turns it down. She has the time. She's not asking for extra time. She's got the time. Oh, no. You cannot have time off for your wedding. Yeah, that's real. So we got some more within this thread. Is that what we're doing? So for our viewing audience, we're going to put these on the screen. Here's another one. I planned a trip to Europe. Got my time off approved a year in advance. 3 weeks before they decided to cancel it. I said, "Don't make me choose because you're not going to like the answer." Well, apparently they made her choose, or him choose, or her. Yeah, there we go. I quit and spent a month in Europe. Yeah, I'll bet you did. Next, Tiffany writes, many years ago, I asked to come in half an hour late for a week because I had a gap in childcare. The office manager said it would put too much strain on the rest of the staff. I still wonder how much strain it put on them when I never went back. Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm going to pause right there. So we got an employee who's going, "Look, I got a childcare gap. And for 1 week, just 1 week, I need to come in half an hour late." I mean, they're being upfront. We're talking half an hour. No. Going to put too much of a strain on everybody else. And so you end up pissing somebody off, and then they leave you, and now you're in a real lurch. Leaders, listen, I don't care what the rules are. I don't care what your fear is. Sit back for a second and go, wait a second. How would I feel if I was a working parent and my child care got disrupted? How would I feel? Think about that. Just be empathetic for 1 second. All right, and then go, okay. Here I am in a position of leadership. And you know what I can do? I can actually allow this because at the end of the day, the 30 minutes doesn't really matter. And more importantly, I put one of our workers at ease and relieve some tremendous stress. Oh, and as a result, probably develop some tremendous loyalty. There's an idea. All right. Couple more really quick. When my grandma passed away, my unit director told me to plan ahead next time. Really? My grandmother died. Yeah, I'd like you to plan ahead next time. I didn't know that grandma was going to die. I mean, and by the way, didn't even say, look at right here. No, sorry for your loss. Nothing. Wow. And then my boss lied to HR about my mom being on her deathbed and said it was a distant relative and was denied my request. I drove my blank to the office the next morning to talk to HR directly and scold my boss for rewording and lying to HR about what I said. My mom was on her deathbed and they said, no, we're going to deny it because it was a distant relative. This is not horrible bossery. This is a horrible human. A horrible human. I mean, I've said many times, sometimes horrible bosses aren't bad people. They just don't know any better. But when you lie to HR and say, well, they asked for time off because a distant relative was dying. No, it was her mom. All right, so here's the question. Do you have any horrible bossery stories or horrible coworker stories? If you've got something delicious that the world needs to hear, ask at kencoleman.com. Email us, and we will share your story. We'll change the names of the innocent to protect everybody. But we would love some horrible career nightmare stories. We want to share those. And by the way, if they're really good, Amanda, we'll just put them on the air and just let me be Judge Wapner. Nobody who's under the age of 40 even knows who I'm talking about. Oh, I've done it again, folks.